start. It is 20 to 11 on a Friday night, and what better time to start the Mongrel than now, when I'm tired. I'm probably a bit delirious from sleep deprivation. It's when all the good ideas come out. But in all seriousness, I've decided that I'm going to use the GoPro to film the Mongrel series. May change to the DSLR, but I just want it to be a bit more free, a bit looser, because to be honest, I have no idea where this is going to go. I've got a vision in my mind, try and translate it then onto canvas, onto a bike. Who knows how it's going to end up. I mean, it's going to happen, it's going to work, because I won't rest until it does. Now that I'm at a happy place with the Ducati frame is there, I've got a few micro bits that need powder coating, boxes over there, and the micro frame, and pretty much this next week is going to be powder coating week. I don't know how long the powder coat is going to take, but whilst I am waiting, why not start cutting away at the CB650 frame. So for those of you not familiar with the project so far, I haven't really done anything much to it yet. We have a VFR750 engine there, which is a beast. I mean, look at it compared to the 600 Ducati engine there. Got the CB650 frame down there in a jig ready, which I created on the last episode. I'm gonna try and get the two to fit, and they won't. There's not a chance that the two are gonna fit, but we're gonna try. I may have to use a bit of oil to try and squeeze it in there to make lubrication a bit easier. But most importantly, this is gonna come in handy. Let's give it a go. Alright, what I've got here is my CB650 frame. And I've got to stick that VFR750 engine into there. First thing I think is if I put that engine and just dump it on here. I've put the frame on its side at the moment on this lift because I don't think there's enough width to put the engine and the frame behind them if I was to put it straight. So let's put that engine here and decide from there. I definitely know I need to cut these off the end because it's not going to have this. How and where I'll cut it is a different question. I don't think I'm going to have this top section at all, to be honest. So I guess it doesn't matter if I cut it there, but just for the safety of things, let's just cut it there and there and drop this back end. The last times I've got to move this engine, the happier I'll be. It's the heaviest thing ever. Right, let's have a look, see how this lines up now. Question is, will it fit without me having to cut here and slide everything back? Right, looking at it from a different angle now. Obviously that's in the way, but there's not one on this side because the CB650 frame unclips there. This bottom part slips out, unclips there as well. I think there's a bolt there, and then of course you've got another couple of bolts there which isn't there at the moment. Now what I'm trying to figure out is, I know, will this engine fit? If it fits without having to chop these off. I don't particularly fancy chopping these off. If I have to, I have to. Then I'll have to just extend it a little bit, put some inner sleeves on, weld it. I'm not going to be doing the welding. I'll just tack it. Yeah, let's just cut these off. And you know what, at this stage I know that I'm not going to be keeping this back bit, so let's cut it there, so this whole back section just comes off. Maybe that was a little bit extreme. The whole top section pretty much lifted in one, so you know what? I think I've actually got a second frame out of that. I'm just kidding, obviously. I think going this extreme was needed because in my mind, I was never going to keep the top section anyway. The tank was never going to sit on top of this. What I'm going to do as well, from a jig point of view, is just chop that off, relocate it because it's not quite giving me the exact angle I need. So that's no big deal. At the moment, it's not going anywhere. It's rigid enough. I can move that. It's easy enough. So I guess the next thing for me to do is see if I can, I know it's not going to fit, but I'll just see how much or how that engine drops into here really. My guess is that I'm gonna have to move that back by about an inch. 2 inches maybe. I want to create something strange. So, engine's gonna go in there. Frame is going to wrap around, a bit like a trellis frame, like a narrow trellis frame, wrap around the engine and see how that goes. But I do need the engine in place. Let's see if it fits. Right, this is a bit chaotic because I've put it on its side. Do you know what? It's not a bad attempt, I've got to say. So it doesn't go completely straight. You can see, let me break it down right from the front to the start. So the front sticks out a little bit too much. It's a good job that I cut the top bit really because it doesn't really fit. The engine in this state is a little bit too high or too tall. That's because it doesn't drop down low enough. So you can see the oil pan there. Where the seal is for the oil pan there should be where bottom rail is. And it needs to be straight as well, so it needs to run parallel. That seal needs to run parallel to the bottom frame there. And a little bit closer again, so I've taken a few covers off. Sprockets there. At the moment, as you can see it, yes, the sprockets bang onto the frame there. But one thing, I mean, that is all twisted. Once the frame is straightened, I think that sprocket will miss it. I mean, look how much these teeth have been eaten. Look at that. Have you ever, I'm sure you have actually, seen anything that bad, but my gosh, someone did not take care of this bike. But you can actually see where the bolts, in fact, this is the bit that's really impressive, is that once it's straight, yes, that'll be out of the way. This down there, so that is one mounting bracket, that will actually clamp on. It fits there, and if it's there. Needs a 10mm spacer, 5mm each side, just to fit. But that is a good point to mount an engine. And then the swing arm mounts onto there. So that actually works in my favour. What I do need to do now though, is the reason it's not sitting straight is because the front just doesn't fit. Cut there, same on the other side, and then I'll put it back onto the jig, extend the jig slightly, and then I can then slide the front as and where I need it. It's all about modern technologies, isn't it? What's more modern than trying to prop up a frame with 2 pieces of wood? I've put these here because the frame weighs a ton, and what I don't want it to do is to bend anything when it goes on it. So that is going to hopefully support it. Okay, that is much better now. I have raised the bottom up by, guessing about 25-30mm. Much better there now. Much better clearance. Obviously that's the bottom. That's nowhere near place at the moment because that's slid back. I'd say that's probably going back about 3 inches. This mounting bracket here lines straight up with where the hole is in the engine there, so that fits perfectly. So at least the back of the engine will be mounted. As for the front, do you know what? I have no idea what I'll do yet. I could easily use these, and that's probably what I will do. I'll use these existing mounts to create a metal plate then to go around here That at the moment is symmetrical. Fits. The engine fits, I guess. So I guess I could say that the engine fits. Obviously not a straight fit, and I knew it was never going to be a straight fit, but it fits. But we have an engine in a frame, as I promised. So the frame might not be whole. The frame might not be functional yet. But it's you know, I keep on looking at this and thinking how ridiculous of a project it is. I'm still sticking to my words. It should never happen. It should never go ahead. Here you go, little tank. This is your new home. Yes, so in fact you can't really see that, can you? Ta-da! It's what it kind of looks like, and it's just, yeah, not right. And I know that this build is going to be completely divisive in terms of comments and people who like it. It's going to be Marmite. It's going to be Marmite for sure. So I'm going to be interested in seeing how people take to this project as it goes further along. Now, I don't have a plan for this bike. I've got a rough sketch, a really rough sketch, which I'll post on Instagram today. So there'll be a sketch on it on pretty much what I want the frame to kind of look like, but it might even change from that. And I've got no idea where it's going to lead to. I've got a tyre. There we go. Ah, there. I have a wheel, and hopefully you can start to see a shape coming on. Apart from that, I've got nothing else. Oh, and the shocks as well. How the shocks are going to fit, I've got no idea. But this is the exciting bit of it, and something I should add is that this build should not be taken too seriously. I am simply having some fun with a bit of metal. This series pretty much is going to be about slapping bits of metal together on a bike. I think it's been done already, but heck, I've no idea what the shape's going to look like. I kind of like the flow of it at the moment. I kind of like how long it's going to be and how tiny the tank's going to be, and where the seat's probably going to go is probably about this. It's going to be this massive void in between the seat and the tank. The tank will obviously probably move back a bit further back, and we need room for filters and things like that. Who knows where this is going to end up or what it's going to look like finally, but one thing's for certain, it's going to be fun for me and hopefully fun viewing for you, even if it's the light side of building motorcycles. Whilst going through a very serious build with a Ducati where it has to be pretty much perfect for me, this is just a bit of light relief. So if you want to stay updated with how this is going to come on and whether it's going to come on or whether it's actually just going to look like Frankenstein, Frankenbob, then subscribe. Follow Instagram as well, because that has obviously daily snaps and things that are going around on this workshop, and also visit FurtherPolarIndustries.com if you want to find any merchandise. So until next week's video, I have no idea what it'll be. The frame for both the Ducati and the Myco 490 has gone off to the powder coaters, and that's going to be another 2 weeks before that comes back. So I have no idea what next week's video will be. It might be, oh, you know what, I've got something I might actually show you. Something for 2021. So until next week's video, everyone, just keep on building and keep on watching and keep on riding and trucking. Bye.